Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the L.O.V. is the Message Legacy Hour chat. Yes, today is a very special day for me and for everyone who's going to be joining us. We have a celebrity, we have royalty in the house, Philadelphia royalty in the house. Please do me a favor and share this chat with everybody. Everybody you can know, mother, father, sister, and brother. Everybody should be in this particular segment. There's lots to talk about, many, many, many things that you will not find anywhere, not even in books, because this is a conversation between friends. And what we're going to do is we are going to have fun. We are going to reminisce a little bit about the good old days and what's happening now. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy hearing all of these wonderful stories. And I'm talking about a lady who was born in Montclair, New Jersey. She's a Jersey girl. And I'm talking about Miss Carol Williams Salsoul. Is a vocalist and songwriter who achieved success with her disco songs in the 1970s. She was the first female artist signed to the disco label Salsoul Records. Yes, that's right. And Salsoul changed the world. Salsoul, 1972, 73, 74. The Philadelphia sound came into the picture and gave us so much for to all of us, not just the disc jockeys, the artists and the clubs and everything. We went crazy when this sound came out. And Carol Williams, ladies and gentlemen, was there right from the beginning, right from the get-go. At this moment, I would like you to please welcome, help me welcome, a wonderful friend, a lady who I admire and respect immensely, a board of director, a Legend of Vinyl board of director, which we're going to be talking about that later on. But Carol Williams, how you doing, my dear? How are you?
I'm fine, Louis. It's such a pleasure being on the show today and hearing your voice. We talk all the time, you and I, but
Yes, we do.
this is really going to be very special because we're going to let people hear some of the things that we talk about.
Oh, absolutely. We're not going to hold back. We're definitely going to let it all out. I mean, not everything, but we spend a lot of time, and you're so wonderful to me that I pick up the phone and I call you in the morning, anytime, and you always
Yeah.
pick up the phone and talk to me about so many things that we are actually working, and you are so consistent in making sure that we make things happen. It's unfortunate that we haven't seen each other since last September, really, when we
Right.
had the awards in New York City. But we are keeping safe, and we also, waiting for the moment in 2021 to get together once again and celebrate.
Yes.
Carol, you were born in Montclair, New Jersey. I mean, this is wonderful. I know Montclair. I've been there. So, and then obviously you are part of a historic, and a lot of things went on in the early days, obviously, as you were even a member of the post disco garage house studio project called Komiko. I mean, and this is before, what year was that, more or less? Do you remember?
Oh my goodness. You know what? Let me see. I can't remember if it was before I was with South Soul or after. I can't really remember.
But you
Uh,
were with Carol Douglas.
It was Carol Douglas and myself, and Carol Douglas and I, we did a lot of background for different people. We blend very well. We have similar voices where we really can sound alike. And a lot of people used to use us for background singing for their songs and
Right,
everything.
right.
And that's how we got together being Komiko. A lot of people didn't know who Komiko was, but we had the record out that it's called Feel All Right.
I see. Wonderful. Feel all right. But anyways, all of that is history, and Carol Douglas went on and did so much more and continued success, and She's still
Yes.
at it, a wonderful lady, and proud to say that she is part of our family, the Legends of Vinyl family.
Yes.
And you had so much going on in those days. It was an incredible era coming out of the 60s, which we experienced all that music from the masters and, Gamble and Huff and all of those people that were bringing in so many lyrics and music. And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, Vince Montana and the Salsoul Orchestra. And I know that there are a lot of books out there, a lot of documentaries being done, and you and I are being part of a documentary coming out soon. I don't know when. I keep asking myself that question. Is that it? Is that ever going to come out? But anyways, yes. So tell me a little bit. I know that you have a lot of stories to tell about Vince Montana. Anything in particular?
Well, it's funny because when I auditioned, I had to audition for Salsoul, and I had to audition with the song called Rattlesnake. That was the song that I had to audition by, and my husband was with me when I came to the audition. So I don't sight read, so he had to tell me what how the song was, how it, the melody and everything. So anyway, I did it, and I was able to get my deal because of doing the one song. And they wanted to do an album. They didn't just want to do one single. They wanted to do an album, Salsoul. And originally, I was supposed to have Lolita Holloway's husband, Floyd. Floyd Holloway was supposed to be the original producer for my album. But
Oh,
Lolita and Floyd they lived in Chicago.
I
I
see.
lived in New York, and they didn't like to fly. So most of the time when they were coming to do shows or coming into, the leader coming in to do any shows, they were definitely driving. So Floyd was supposed to get with me, and we were gonna go over what songs we were gonna do. Well, it never happened because he didn't like to fly, and it didn't make sense for me to fly out to where they were because everything was here in New York. So eventually, Sal Soul, Kenny Carey put me with Vince Montana Jr.
Uh-huh.
And Vince was a pleasure to work with, just such a pleasure to work with.
Right.
And he let me bring a lot of my ideas into our project. And Vince lived in Cherry Hills, which wasn't too far from where Sigma Sound was in Philly.
Right.
So I actually would go to Vince's house, and we started our project at his house because at that time I had my band, and I was working at a Holiday Inn with my band, which wasn't too far from where Vince lived in Cherry Hill. So it just like all worked out.
Wow.
I would
Yeah.
do my sets, 3 or 4 sets at night,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd get up in the morning
Mm-hmm.
and I'd drive to Vince's house, and I would be there most of the day until it was time for me to go back to do my sets because I was working 6 nights a week at the Holiday Inn.
Right.
And we would work in the daytime, and then I would go and do my shows and everything at the Holiday Inn, which wasn't far.
Right.
And that's how we put it together. And Vince was just a pleasure to work with. I mean,
Yeah.
he's open to ideas,
Right.
and he let me bring in some of the songs that I wrote, and then we wrote some together. I think about those times, and it was just great.
Right. It was a family. It was this. That's what it
Yes,
takes for a professional, an intelligent producer, arranger as he was, and
yes,
to be open-minded and actually welcome ideas from everybody, especially the artists that he's working with. Some people don't like that, but I'm glad that he did what he did.
yes. He was
Obviously,
very open to it, and
yeah.
very open to new ideas. He would listen to some of the ideas that I had, and then of course I would definitely listen to him because I mean he had out hits and things and everything
Sure.
before I had met him. So
Yeah.
definitely I was trying to get as much as I could from him.
Lots of people don't realize the history of this gentleman going back to the 60s with
Yes,
songs that nobody knew he was in the background. I mean,
right.
and that's one of the things that I talked about when the documentary that we both are part of And I gave him a list of all of these incredible, and I did a tribute to this gentleman. And I went back, way back, and I did, I believe, 6 hours of his music. And that was impressive, all
Yes.
the music that he had and the talent that he was, obviously. Well, you know, Sal Soul became huge after that, and you know, you continued with Lectric Lady after you came out with the song More. Obviously, More was it became so popular. I still play it, and you know that.
Yes, I
You know,
do. Thank
and
you.
of course we all do, and it's just one of the signatures out there as a classic, obviously. And Electric Lady. So tell me, 1977, it was released, right?
It's funny because at that time when Vince and I were putting the album together and getting songs and trying to figure out what songs we were going to use, at that particular time, a lot of people were coming out with standard songs. Uh, Gloria Gaynor came out with How High the Moon,
True that.
and there were other people that were taking songs from back in Frank Sinatra days and
Right,
with the strings and everything and then making it into disco.
right.
The Tramps had out I think it was
Sympathy.
the song that Earl had sang,
Yeah,
Zing with the Strings of
yeah,
My Heart.
yeah, yeah,
So everybody was like taking things from back in the days and
yeah,
just putting a disco beat to it.
yeah.
And I came up with the idea of let's try More. I said, Vince, what do you think about if we take the song More
Right.
and bring that up into like a disco beat and everything? And
Boy,
he was
boy, oh boy.
very, yes, he thought it was a great idea,
Yeah.
and we came up with the idea of that.
Fantastic song. Everything in it is incredible. That song is, and then obviously "Love Is You." That's another,
Yes,
that "Love Is You" is still to this day. Love is you, and
I
we need more love. As love, everybody man says that. No, everybody says "Love is you," and everybody types it.
yes.
You know,
It's funny. I Vince had I would be listening to some of the songs that he had that he showed me. He said, "What do you think of this? Or what do you think of that?" And when I heard "Love Is You," I think it was a guy singing it, just a piano and a guy. And but I was so inspired by the words and what the words were,
right,
and the melody. And I said, I heard maybe about 4 bars of it, and I said, I want to do that. Vince, let's do that. Let's do that song.
right.
So that's how "Love Is You" became part of the album.
And in 1999, an Italian DJ, his name is DJ Spiller.
Yes.
He sampled "Love Is You"
Yeah.
in a track called Groovejet. I mean, I haven't heard that really up to this moment. I'm gonna have to look into it because
Yes.
I never heard it really, and my apologies, but I never heard that.
And
And
it's so funny when it came out and it was a big hit over in the UK.
yeah,
Vince didn't know about it, but I
uh,
did. And
awesome.
I got in touch with him, and he just could not believe how what they just took samples of from "Love Is You" and kept sampling it over and over, and then they had someone come in and just do another whole kind of
Right,
song to what
right.
they sampled.
Number one in the UK and Australia, and
Hmm.
it's an amazing success that you had with Salsoul and tremendous performances in those days as you we going into further into the 70s, 77, 78, when the disco was, oh my god, then you had to perform in many 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 incredible clubs as Studio 54. You remember the day when you performed there?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You has to
that
be on
was a that was incredible. Just the people and so many people, and it was just bigger than life.
yeah.
Studio 54 was bigger than life.
Exactly, exactly. Did you perform there with the orchestra? Or did you perform it? You remember? Because they
Uh,
used
when when I performed there, I we no because that was the whole thing to be able. The only time I performed with the whole orchestra was at Roseland.
Roseland.
And that, yes, at Roseland, and the
Yeah.
Tramps were on the show, Lolita,
Wow.
Double Exposure, myself, the guys that did Helplessly, Moment of Truth. And
Hmm.
that was, I mean, I just remember Vince bringing in all this music,
Right.
all the violin parts, and
Mm.
everybody had to read because it was the whole orchestra. That's the only
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
that I actually sang with the whole orchestra.
Magnificent times, 1977. Salsoul not only released a new album, you also, um, with Salsoul in 1978, you signed with a Canadian record label and with a good friend, dear friend of ours.
Yes.
And and I'm gonna have to give him a call to remind him because lately he can't remember many things. And we're talking about Roy B of all
I
people.
know. Yes,
you know,
definitely, Boy
yeah.
B.
Every once in a while I have to call him up and say, "Are you still breathing?"
Oh
Because
yes, that
yeah,
was great. Yes, he
yeah,
well with Roy B was on Roy B's label,
yeah,
and we were shopping for a deal for that, and thank God, Roy picked it up. So I've
yeah.
always just admired the fact that he did pick up that whole album for
He
us.
had a good
That was
time.
the reflection of Carol Williams' album.
Yeah, exactly. Reflections of, and it was produced or a duet with Tony Valor, right? Tony Valor.
Yes, Tony Valor. Yes,
Yeah, love
yes,
has come my way,
my way.
and
Yes.
I have to, like once again, I talked a lot to Roy. Roy and I have a great relationship going back to '72. I think the time I met him, and so we talk quite often, and we try to remember. It's like when he sold his catalog, he sold it, and he
Yes.
says, "Man, I wish I couldn't. Should have done this. I should have done that." And I really hope that he gets something going sometime, and he's very close to it. I'm trying to put a
Oh,
little
that's
fire
great.
up, where for him to come out, and reflections of tell the world and dance the night away.
Yes.
Dance the night away. My God, that's another classic song, Carol.
At
Magnificent.
that time when I did Reflection of Carol Williams, I had been with Vince with Salsoul, and I saw the production and what he would have to do and how we tried to
Right.
pick the songs of what we were doing. So by the time I did Reflection of Carol Williams, I had a different aspect of how I wanted to do it. I wanted to write all most of the songs, which I did,
Right.
because I've always been a writer. Even before I signed with Salsoul, I've always been a writer.
Right.
So I said, well, this will give me an opportunity to, write some of the songs. And then I wanted to use the band that performed with me. I
I see.
wanted them to be the musicians on the session
Right.
because I felt that they're good enough to be on stage with me and perform with me because we were
Right.
going to Canada and everything. Then I want these musicians to actually be the musicians on at in the studio.
I see.
So it was of course, everybody that was working with me were the musicians, and then my husband, he did the arrangements. I remember many a nights him sitting down in the dining room and writing
Hmm.
all the string parts and everything. And
Right.
of course, he had he listened to what Vince had did with me on the Lectric Lady album. So we wanted the strings to be just as nice and full as Don Ronaldo's strings with the
Oh, wow.
Salsoul Orchestra.
Right.
So it took a while for us to do it, but we did it, and I did all the backgrounds myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I let some of the guys write some of the songs on the album too. So they had I wanted it to be everybody have a little part of the pot of it.
Great idea. Great, great, great idea. Tell me a little bit more about your husband.
DeVern Williams Sr., he worked for Wilson Pickett. He was a band leader,
Mm-hmm.
and he was Wilson Pickett's band leader for about maybe 4 or 5 years. He's a jazz musician, plays trumpet,
Mm-hmm.
and a great arranger. He went to school to learn how to write the strings, just how like Vince does,
Wow.
write all the parts out and everything. And we met when we were doing a USO tour
Mm.
when I was very, very young. And the Geminis, I had a record with RCA, and we had went to the USO tour for about 3 months, and Devon Williams was the band leader who put all of our music and everything together.
Right.
So that's how I met him, and then eventually we got married and had my son. And
Wow.
that's how he's been in the music business. And he was with me when I had to learn the song Rattlesnake, because he went with me when I did the audition. So
Uh-huh.
he sight read, so he was the one that told me how to how
And
the
you,
song went.
and you
Yeah.
didn't like that song Rattlesnake either, right?
No, I didn't write it.
Which,
They already had
yeah.
someone that had already did it. I think that's the only song on the Electric Lady album that Vince hadn't anything to do with as far as producing it. Because when I heard it and I had to sing it, it was already a track and everything to it. So Vince
Uh,
didn't do that particular song.
right. Which leads me right now talking about rattlesnakes. And right now, something that we've been laughing about it because in the 80s you had an opportunity. So you got you turned down a song, Daryl Payne's song. Daryl, I mean, a terrific guy, great talented guy.
Yes,
Um, he came up with a song that he offered to you, Over Like a Fat Rat.
yes,
And you passed it because you passed it to Fonda Raid, obviously a great talented. As a matter of fact, she will be with us in 2021. Hopefully, she will be acknowledged and honored and inducted into the Legends of Vinyl Artist Hall of Fame.
right.
And because you were not too much fun of a rat. That is true.
No.
So you
Well,
just say, no, thank you, but no, thank you.
Well, I wasn't too fond of Rattlesnake, but that was the song that got me my deal with South Soul. So, of course, I'm open to listen to what, people do have so I can hear it.
Right.
But when I was at Vanguard at the time,
Uh,
and I had went in to listen to, Mr. Payne had said, "Oh, you're gonna love this song," because of course, him being a producer and everything, he's hearing things that I don't hear, and
right.
so he's thinking on production and everything. But when I'm listening to it, it's just a keyboard player,
Right.
and I think it was Jocelyn Brown that was doing the actual, singing of the song to present the song, and all I could hear was a fat rat, something about a rat, fat, and I said no.
Yeah.
I don't even think I let them play the whole thing.
Is that right?
I just heard about maybe two or three bars and said no.
No, no, no,
I
thank you.
don't.
Yeah, no
Right.
kidding.
And
Yeah.
then, of course, it was presented to Fonda, and I
Yeah.
mean, she just did a fantastic job
And
on it, and the production was
sure,
great.
totally, absolutely. And it was pretty much at the same time when you went to, I think it was 82, when you had the Can't Get Away. Uh,
It was,
it
and the
was,
funny thing about it is that when I was in a club
uh
and I heard Over Like a Fat Rat. And when you all were DJing, I mean, you heard the bass, you heard
Sure. Oh,
everything,
yeah.
and I said,
Sure.
"Oh my God, that sounds fantastic! What a
Right.
great
Right.
funky song, right?"
Sure.
So when I went in to do Can't Get Away with Mr. Payne,
Right.
we based Can't Get Away kind of on that order
Yeah.
of Over Like a Fat Rat, the
Yeah.
production kind of like that.
Right.
Yes,
Right. Right. But it was another hit for you.
it
Another
was.
hit because to this day, Can Get Away, still being played. Is still
Yes.
definitely up there in underground everywhere.
Mhm.
And still being played. I mean, I know that even when I together with Jellybean Benitez every once in a while he plays it, and we
Mhm.
play so.
And
And so
sometimes they'll go from like Over Like a Fat Rat into Can't Get Away,
correct. It
or
matches perfectly. Yeah,
yes, it
yeah.
matches
There
perfect.
were
So,
very a lot
so
of it.
some kind of way, I did a little something with that Can't Get Away like
Yes,
Fat Rat.
exactly. You got that right. So you associate it somehow or another. But that is a beautiful times in the 80s, early 80s as well, and you continue to be consistent. And we you've got concerts going on or traveling so much, and
Hmm.
with what's up with the unit disc compilations that you had something. What's going on with that?
Well, Unidis, I worked Canada a lot.
Right.
I was in Canada actually when they released More, the single of More. I happened to be up there performing with my band, not as a recording artist, as Carol Williams Salso, but as just a top 40 band. And
Right.
I happened to be up there at the time when they had put the record out of More, the
Right.
12-inch.
Right.
And I met a lot of the DJs up there. And I think in Canada, Salsoul was on what was the record label? Was it Quality? It was a different label. No, RCA.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't know
was
that.
on RCA.
Right.
More and everything was on RCA.
Okay.
Salso had RCA distribute in Canada, and CBS Columbia was distributing the album in Germany. So up there, I had a lot of support as far as people from RCA were, knowing that I was up there. So I had a lot of support from people to, put me on TV shows and things and stuff like that.
Right.
So it was really great.
That's fantastic. So you covered pretty much the 80s from beginning to end, all the
Yeah,
way, like 89, all the way to Queen of Hearts in 1989,
yeah,
87. What's the deal? I mean, there's so many records that you have, and they're still actively, being played by smart disc jockeys, obviously. you know, but that is wonderful. Carol, I want to talk to you a little bit about the events that we've been doing for, well, now we just celebrated a milestone really for about 12, almost 12 years since I created the Legends of Vinyl, and
yeah,
I asked you to be part of the an incredible lineup of board of directors, artists, and you are definitely leading there with Denise Montana, I should say, pardon me, Denise Montana, Linda Clifford, uh,
yeah.
Earl Young, Felipe Rose, and I can't say enough about the kind of work you guys do, because not many people do realize what we do, with how we
And
manage to put this together, right? We spend
we,
a lot of time, and so,
yes,
well,
it has been.
it's
Yes,
been a wonderful ride, and we just trademarked for another 10 years in the United States, and we're looking forward to trademark worldwide, and we're definitely doing that with God's help, you know. And we are looking forward to bring people. You were so, how can I say, helpful and wonderful to get us in touch with so many of the artists that we have been getting. We
yeah,
have quite a few coming in 2021. We got Fonda Ray, Melissa Morgan. You got obviously last last year in 2019. I think it was when Joe Batan was, and you guys,
yes.
he was fantastic. I mean, when he went on the stage and he performed, nobody expected for him to perform that song. It was a
Is
mellow song, but the house went wild.
It was great. It was, and
Right.
it's amazing because he was there all night and he
Yes.
performed. And
Right. Right.
right after he performed, he had to. I think he had to be in Tokyo, so
Right.
he went straight from our event
Right.
right to the airport
To
to
the
go
airport.
to Tokyo. But he was
Yeah.
there, and it was just great. We had a
Uh,
wonderful crowd
yes.
in
Wonderful.
2019.
19, 18. I think it was. We had Melba Moore, and we had
Yes,
Carol. What's Gloria Gaynor with
Gloria,
us,
Gloria Gaynor. Yes, yes. We it was
and my goodness, what a night that was, right?
Oh, and I noticed that it's just a wonderful concept that you came up with, Lewis, because it just keeps the music alive. It keeps the artist um, well informed of what's going on, and the disco lovers that love our music and love the music of all of the DJs that play it.
Right.
It just keeps that alive. That's our era. Those are people's eras that they came from. They love that kind of music,
Right.
and it's just wonderful that you came up with the idea of the Legends of Vinyl so that it will go down for decades.
And
It will
I,
be there.
yes, and I think that we have so much more to do, so much work to do, because the ideas keep coming up, and we're creating. Right now, we're in the works, and we say we because you are involved as well with the radio station, which is going to be a visual radio. We're working on
Yes.
that, and I'm going to make sure that before the end of the year, we'll have a home for us to do our thing, and it's going to be a variety. I mean, we have Mary Seymour involved. We have a
Yes.
lot of people. I've a lot of people calling to be part of this, Carol, and we have wonderful, wonderful people. I talked to Ted Courier, DC
Hmm.
LaRue, I mean Joey
Yes.
Carvello, Izzy Sanchez, and all of these people like lining up to do how can I say, not just disco, but it's just going to be an incredible variety of music from Latin to
Right.
jazz
Everything.
to everything. We're going to have an incredible amount of programs, educational programs that, and it will be great. And I'm not going to pressure you on this, but I know that I want to talk to you and Deverne to see if I can get you guys to do something together on the radio. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. We'd love
It will
to.
be awesome.
Definitely.
Carol,
We're-
it will be awesome because I love Deverne, and I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate his talent. I mean, this is a young man that has, I mean, he was born in between all of you guys, from all the royalty from Philadelphia. So he definitely has an incredible talent. Mom and dad really have an
Yes.
incredible young man, always working. I know that he's always working. I mean, God bless him. And I'm a big fan of Deverne Williams, and
Thank you.
and you guys have also a studio, and the studio is the Vintage House Recording Studio. Tell me a little bit about, and if Deverne is there, I'm sure he's next to you.
He's at the house. I just saw him just come in the room, and I'm sure he's coming back.
Is
It's funny about the studio
yeah,
because uh, I never ever thought about doing a studio.
right,
It never ever came up in my mind to, have a studio.
right,
And Mr. Daryl Payne, which
uh-huh,
Deverne had been in his studio, and Deverne used to go to his Aunt Lolita Holloway's for the summer, and she had a board in the studio in her house. So one summer when he came back, he just knew how to, run the board and record and everything. I said, well, when did you learn all of this? And he said, with Aunt Lolita. So it was in the back of my mind, in my head, that he did know how to record and everything
right,
and do this. And then Mr. Payne suggested to me one day, why don't I put a studio in the basement for Deverne?
right.
Because he plays drums, and he constantly was always playing Lolita stuff on drums, until the point when she was at the Apollo. I used Deverne at 12 years old to be her drummer at the Apollo.
Oh my
So,
God! I
so
mean,
he's the youngest drummer ever to
is that right?
professionally be that age to play. And he was so little at that time, they had to build up the stage so we could see him from, the audience could see him. And we were on the show with Lolita was headlining, and Bobby Womack was headlining,
Bobby Womack. Whoa.
and
Yeah.
Junior Walker.
Yes.
Oh, we had so many people on the show, and I remember we were rehearsing, just going over the songs with Lolita. In fact, I had used Lolita had contacted me to do all her background singers and everything, so I had gospel people for Lolita because she's got that strong voice.
Right.
And I remember having Fonda Ray's husband at the time; he was one of the background singers too. But as we were rehearsing, Bobby Womack came down from the dressing room, and he couldn't see the drummer.
Uh,
So he's saying, "Who's the drummer? Who's playing those drums?" and Christopher was, only 12 at the time. You couldn't really see him. And then when he saw him, he said, "Oh my God, that foot that he has." He said, "No, you all have to build up a platform so you can see him because you can't
Ah,
see him." And that's
wonderful.
how they did the platform where, yeah. And I
That's
have that on tape,
wonderful. Oh, you,
Louis. I'm
yeah.
gonna one day
You
send it to you
have
and
to,
let you see.
please. I would love to see that.
Yes, and
This,
and 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 Lolita's
yeah,
son, Whoopi, which he was at the Legend of Vinyl with his
Floyd,
with her granddaughter.
right.
Whoopi's one of the background singers and everything too. It was like all family
That
on
is
that
all
show with her.
amazing. And Nia Holloway, that's a
Nia
great.
Holloway,
Yeah,
Lolita's granddaughter.
she just landed a part on a what do you call it, a TV show, right?
Yes, she
That's what
did. Yes, she
I
did.
yes, and that is so amazing. She's a wonderful,
Oh,
gorgeous. She
and I
is
was just
gorgeous. I
so
mean, really, really
happy
gorgeous.
that you
Yeah,
had produced that
yeah,
segment that they were at the
yeah.
Legends of Vinyl
Yes.
because they did a great job, a
And I
great job.
sent Floyd a message with congratulations for Nia, and he
Oh,
looks
you
great
did.
now. Yeah, so it will be great to have him again, maybe in
Oh, definitely.
2021. I'm just blown away by Nia's talent. I mean, she
She
can really rip that. Oh my God!
Oh, and then
Right?
she was she was touring with the show, not the one that's on Broadway, but she was touring with the show. Can't Not the King and I. What's the name of the show where the animals come on the giraffes? I
Oh
can't.
no, I know, I know. Oh my God!
You know what I'm
I'm
talking about.
having a senior moment, and
Yes, I
this.
can't remember
I can.
exactly
Yeah,
what it was. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
she was touring for since
yeah,
she was like
yeah,
15, 16 years old.
yeah.
And then she she's now going on to acting and everything else now, so she's an incredible
Right.
talent.
Right. No, absolutely. What a wonderful family, and I'm so happy that I got to meet them, and hopefully get to see them again.
Oh
But
yes, you definitely
but
will.
we wanted to actually remind everybody that you are listening to the L.O.V is the Message Legacy Hour chat, and I have the pleasure right now to be on the phone with my dear friend Carol Williams Salsoul, and she is giving us so many little insight on about her life. And please share. It's still time. And also, I want you guys to know that almost at the end of this program, she will be performing. They are in their studio right now, and they're getting ready to perform for you guys. So get ready for this, because right now, then they're gonna go on, and then I will, by magic of technology, I'm gonna make this happen. We switch it over to their studio, and you can hear and see Carol performing, and then Carol and Devern Williams will be performing together. That is a sight. That's something beautiful. I mean, I love that. And I would love to see that on the stage. And I know that they have done this many, many times, but I would love to be part of that. Maybe in 2021, as we produce with Carol the next event. And Carol is amazing. And I know that we're doing a Dan Harmon tribute.
Yes,
Am I correct there?
yes, definitely. I've gotten in touch with some of his family, and we definitely he's one of the great producers of our time.
Oh my God, Dan Hartman, my goodness, unbelievable talent, and gone too soon. Obviously, we all miss
Yeah.
his talent, But you came up with that idea, and you keep on making these Legends of Vinyl events greater and greater. And I thank you so much for that. And everybody also is involved, all the board of
Oh yes,
directors, and
everyone.
I don't want to mention one name. I have to mention them all. And right
I
now,
know,
I
right, and
can, I
there's so
can.
many great people that are
Yeah,
that
but
are there for
I
us.
and I do, and they know that I love them all, but I can't remember everyone, anyways. But do you know something, Carol? Vintage House Recording. Tell me a little bit about. I know that Devern is going to be telling us a little bit about. Is he there by any chance?
He's in the house. I just have to call him into the room.
Oh,
So like I said, so I decided to do the studio, which I think the studio's got to be about maybe 12 or 13 years old now, but I decided to do it, which I said, oh God, I just can't believe I'm doing this.
Right.
And we did, and I mean, it's what's been pulling us through for a lot of things. It's
That is
really is pulling us through. We've done a lot of things. We've had Gloria Gaynor come and do her
so she
some of her
has.
gospel songs,
Fantastic.
and I've had a Beanie Man here. I've had a lot of different artists and stuff have come into the Chow Studios,
Right.
and rappers. We get a lot of rappers,
Uh
but
huh.
we get a lot of talented people. It's just amazing at some of the people that we get and we hear. In fact, what's the rapper girl's name that's with 6ix9ine?
Are you asking
Cardi
me?
B. Cardi B has been
Oh,
in our
oh, okay.
studio.
Oh, wow.
Before she was, I think she was on Love and Hip Hop at the time when she was in the studio, but she has been to our studio
That's
recording.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's
So,
fantastic.
and Vern runs the studio. He's the engineer, and since then we have actually taught maybe about 3 or 4 to 5 different engineers, ranging from the age of 17, and they're fantastic. It's something about the younger generation that just
Well,
catches on to that, you
that's a
know?
beautiful thing. I mean, young and something they have schooling going on there with you and Deverne, because Deverne definitely has
Yes.
a lot
Well,
of
he
history.
is here, Louis. He's here in the room with me.
Deverne, can
So
you hear me?
Hi, Louis. How you doing, bro?
My friend, how you doing, brother? Listen, so
I'm doing
great to
pretty
hear
good.
from you. I know you're keeping safe. I know that you're taking care of business as well as always. And I just want to congratulate you for what I hear from Carol, your mom. The studio is doing very, very well, and I know that
Yes,
you're
yes,
definitely you're gonna go forward with that. And I also
yes,
want to thank you for being part of what's going to happen in a little bit. You're going to be performing live from the studio. So
yes.
I'm very happy, and I wanted to be able to see you next year. Unfortunately, I can we can't travel, so we're gonna have to just hold on tight and see you
Yes.
next year. Maybe you guys can perform together, you
That
and
would be
mom,
great.
and
That
also
would be great.
the radio station. I want you and Carol to have a segment, where
Oh, that would be great.
you can actually tell the world a lot of things, because I know you have a lot in you a lot to offer, and you have
Yes,
a lot of
yes.
history. That will be a very
That's right.
very important show. Mom and son, your mom and Carol Williams and Deverne Williams.
Oh, yes, yes.
I can see it.
We really enjoy doing what we do, and we had a good time creating that song and working
Right,
the studio with that song. It's going to be different, and we
right.
have more projects that we're working on at this
I
time,
I
and
can
we're
only
doing some
imagine.
things for the UK.
Right. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. That's where we have to go next year. We
yes,
all planning to
yes,
do this. I hope that everybody stay just safe and just be
yes.
patient, because I know that you always work in Devon, and that's
Yes,
one
I
of the
haven't been
wonderful.
I haven't
Yeah.
been doing too many shows
Right.
since March. I haven't been performing with any of the bands that I work with. I would just like to very quickly give a shout out to some of my bands and band members that I work with, especially that 70s band.
Yeah.
We usually are working like 4 to 5 days a week
Yeah.
in the summertime, and
Yeah.
hopefully when all of this is over, we'll be back out there, and our fans and
Oh, for sure.
friends can get to see us.
For sure, you know that. You know that.
Yeah,
It's just that be patient, because I know sometimes, we used to that night time. We used to,
right.
we used to work,
That's
and
right.
all of a sudden we are just confined into our homes, even though we love our homes. But we like the audience. We
That's right.
enjoy the music, the lights, and everything. That's what we do.
Right.
There's
Well,
that.
the opposite of what we do is like the opposite of social distancing.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
it's a lot of socializing and coming together with everybody and the love of people feeling the music and dancing and
right,
just being happy and
right,
enjoying,
right.
music.
Right. And this is one of the things that we all share, the passion that we have. I mean,
Right.
it's just, we can't avoid it. We can't deny it. We have to be open with everybody, and everybody understands that, you know. And it's
That's
like
right.
our friend Jimmy E. right now is in Miami getting ready to open his club. We're
Oh
doing a
yes,
soft,
yes. Well,
you know,
that's one of my favorite clubs in Miami that I
yeah,
performed at
and
when the Legends of Vinyl had me and my mom out there.
right.
And shout out to my bro Jimmy.
Oh,
That's
it's
my
big
guy.
time. He's terrific.
Okay.
He's getting on tonight, and then next week
Okay.
we started to do a softing, very soft opening, and
Oh,
just getting the things ready because
that's great.
people are definitely desperate to come back,
Oh yeah.
but carefully. We're doing it very
Yes.
carefully. And
Yes.
this time, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna thank you, Devern, so much for being
Oh,
part of
thank
this.
you, Louis.
And I know that you and your mom, Carol, have to go down to the basement and get ready to perform. Okay, so
Yes.
and
We are ready
so
for that for
I'm
you.
going to do this. I wanted to. If I know Carol is next to you, and she's kind of.
Yes, she is.
Right
She's
here.
I'm gonna
she's
put her
gonna look
back, but
wonderful. I'll talk to you later, my
oh,
brother.
take care, big bro. God
Okay.
bless you,
Okay.
and much love.
Much love to you too,
All
Devon.
right, bro.
Carol.
Oh, yes, I'm right here,
Yes,
Louis.
my dear. So I just wanted to let everybody know that you are going to be performing in a few minutes. You're going to go down
Yes,
to the basement, and I'm going to
yes,
be sending it to you guys. And right after that, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, Carol, so much. I mean, we really need a long time to actually catch up with a lot of things, but this has been so exciting for me to be able to reminisce a little bit about. Is there anything any message that you want to send your friends and family and people that love you so much?
yes. I just would like to say, to everyone that is in this business or anyone that knows the people from Legends of Vinyl, myself, yourself, to be safe, wear your mask, make sure you do the social distancing, and just it's a rough time. It's not easy for us, and I just want to commend you, Louis, and Jimmy, and everybody from Legends of Vinyl, all the DJs, everybody, because you keep it alive and you keep it with such good spirits. And sometimes I say it's just amazing that you all are still doing it in a different way, but you're still doing it. People can still enjoy the music and all the artists and how you all put songs together. I love it. I love it. So keep doing what you're doing, and everybody just be safe and be positive, because it's gonna get better. Just be
Thank you.
patient.
Coming from you is a pleasure, and indeed is an honor. And thank you so much once again, Carol. A big hug and a kiss from afar. And I'm looking
Thank
forward to. We'll be talking obviously a lot, but right now, I want you to please uh, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Please go down to the basement right now and perform. I'm
Okay.
going to send it to you in a couple of, just stand by. And I know that I'm going to just tell everybody, okay, Carol, I'll catch up with you later. Love you a lot.
All
Love you
right.
much.
Love
All right.
you.
Love you, Carol.
Thank all the fans for listening. Thank
Will
you.
do.
Okay, I'm
Thank you.
going down now.
Okay.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, this is it. Right now, I have the pleasure to introduce to you Carol Williams and Devern Williams. They're getting ready to go down, and I'm going to switch it right now to them. So, remember, ladies and gentlemen, L.O.V is the message. And guess what? Next week we have Joy Digital Ammo from Hocus Pocus, and he will be with me here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So do me a favor and just enjoy it, and I'll see you next week.
More than the greatest love the world had known.
all the love